Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Hype, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host. Welcome back to the Baseball Hut 3. And hopefully you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. So if you're watching this video and you like the videos I've been doing, thank you. And of course, I've been getting so many subscribers and the views have been just off the charts. Hopefully we continue it. But let me talk about this story. I can't believe this. There have been a lot of sort of claims that sports is rigged. That sports is rigged, that a lot of stuff happens through gambling and other nefarious things, and including the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, certainly. Those three in particular. And there's an article and there's a thing, some quotes by a prominent person. This is Joe Buck, the NFL broadcaster. He's the number one play-by-play man in the country, next to, I guess, Al Michaels. But Joe Buck has done a ton of Super Bowls. He's a guy that's done a ton of World Series games, a ton of World Series series. But he claimed something very interesting, and he kind of joked about it. This should be taken extremely seriously. Okay, because there has been a lot of talk that the Super Bowl is scripted, that the NFL is scripted. There are claims by former players that say that they get a script before every game, that they get a script before every season. From somebody, I don't know who it's from. It comes from somebody. That what they're going to play, how they're going to, injuries, all this stuff. So, there's this stuff that's out there. Headline. Joe Buck jokingly, this is from Awful Announcing, claims he already received Super Bowl 61 script. I think it's 61. Have you seen the script? Do you know who's going to play in that one? I saw it. End quote. Very, very strange comment. Very strange comment. Imagine if the NFL managed to keep its script under wraps for decades just to have Joe Buck casually let it slip out on Monday Night Football. To the non-conspiracy theorists, Buck was just making a joke Monday night, but to many conspiracy theorists, it was fuel. Well, I would mention, whenever you hear about articles mocking conspiracy theorists, it's usually true. Okay? It's usually pretty damn true and pretty damn close. I mean, to be honest with you. During this week's Monday Night Football broadcast featuring the LA Chargers, the Philadelphia Eagles, Buck teased ESPN and ABC getting back into the Super Bowl rotation with Super Bowl 61 on February 14, 2027 from SoFi Stadium. And after the tease, Buck casually asked Aikman if he saw the script. Okay? Now, why is he making a joke like that? Have you seen the script? Do you know who's going to play in that one? Buck asked. I saw it. Okay? It's just, and Aikman said no. Aikman said before a chuckle, quote, "I'll let you know later," quietly added. Every so often, fuel gets added to the belief that the NFL might be rigged and just follow along with one big script like the WWE. On his podcast that explores conspiracies, conundrums, in the dark corners of the deep web, with PFT commentator, former NFL running back Arian Foster created a stir a few years ago by claiming the league is rigged and practices are just a practice to script. But it was all just an elaborate joke. Sure it was. Former head of NFL officiating and current rules analyst for Fox, Dean Blandino, said even his brother believed the NFL was rigged last season. Now Joe Buck is giving conspiracy theorists reasons to get all excited. Now the one thing we saw in the Dave Portnoy video, you got the sense that he thought that the end of that game was rigged himself. The Raiders and the Broncos game in Las Vegas on Sunday or Monday, whatever it was. So he thought it was rigged and had his meltdown. And there was some very strange plays in the Giants games, the New York Giants games, that makes a lot of people, including myself, very suspicious. Players not running out plays, even though, we saw the whole thing with Jalen Hyatt in one of the Jalen Hyatt in one of the plays. He stopped running. And people are like, why did he stop running? Well, people think that he stopped running because he wasn't supposed to make the play. And the Giants were supposed to lose. The article continues, there's no way the NFL is rigged. Too many people would have to be involved in keeping it quiet. Although what if the NFL just disguised every slip as a joke? If they're making jokes like this, there's always truth to it. But if the league was rigged, why would Taylor Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs be 6-7 right now? Or maybe by having the Chiefs floundering at 6-7, scriptwriters have conspiracy theorists right where they want them. What does this have to do with anything? Damn it, Joe. Now you've got all these conspiracy theorists and their brains twisted up like a pretzel. They got a pretzel in their heads. So the writer's mocking people that bet on the games, watch the games, pay attention to every little detail that happens in these games. And like I said, I'm not a gambler, but I noticed a lot of stuff in the NFL games that the Giants played in, to where they collapse in the fourth quarter. Tackles aren't being made. Plays aren't being run properly. Wide receivers that are very talented aren't running out plays. They're stopping. They have these these set plays they have to make, and they stop running. And then and they ask the player after the fact, he just sort of shrugs his shoulders about it. There's too many things that happen in these games that make you wonder. And like I said, in all the sports, that's for sure. NBA, we know the NBA has all these weird things that happen in the course of a season. And we know that, there was that big scandal in the NBA where all these players being arrested and a coach got arrested. I mean, Chauncey Billups got arrested. I mean, you've seen all this stuff going on. And the gamblers and the bookies have always been around sports since we've had sports. Not only in this country, but in any country. So there's always people betting on these games and betting on sporting events. So, that's a big part of this. Where are you going to make the most money? Now, the Chiefs are having a bad year because they kind of passed their prime as a team. They had their chances to keep winning. You're starting to see that with the Eagles too. But if one player is saying it, don't take it as a joke. Take it for what it is. And the fact that they're so open about it, why are you even bringing this up? That, who's going to be in the Super Bowl 2 months down the line. And that this is, circulating around the game. It's a very strange comment by Joe Buck. But you have to keep that in mind when you watch these games now. I think we've seen now in our country, that things aren't always what they appear to be. In history, people are starting to really do a second look at history and trying to see, where the truth is. Trying to find the truth. There is a word, a comment. Who was it from? Bubba Smith. Played on the Colts in Super Bowl III. He had gotten word, I guess he had admitted before he died, that game, the Jets versus the Colts, was rigged. That he was told that the game was rigged, and that the Jets had to win that game to secure the AFC, the AFL clubs being part of the, as good as the NFL teams. That's what he said before he passed away. That game in particular was rigged. That game was so important to the league, because the first two Super Bowls, the AFL lost both games, so they needed the AFL team and a team that was an underdog to win that game. So this is something that's been percolating for a long time. With it's from the very beginning of the current system of the NFL. So just keep that in mind as we it might be a joke, but sometimes with a joke, there's always a sense of truth to it. The best jokes have truth to it. Well, you let me know what you think about this video, and of course I'll have more stuff on WFAN. They give me so much pleasure. They give me so much content just to goof on them. And I'll have plenty of stuff on that, and really everything to do with the media. The media is a lot of fun to talk about because nobody criticizes them in the sports media. And they need to be criticized. Nothing wrong with that. Being critically thoughtful when it comes to people that are reporting on this stuff is important. So Thank you for watching this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Head 3. I'll figure out what the hell I am. And I'll see you later.